Hello students, this is Gokila from Computer Science, Cybersecurity, Dr. SNS Rajalakshmi College of Arts and Science. So in the last class we have discussed about the operators and expressions. Now we are going to see functions and pointers in C. What is a pointer? When we go for a pointer, it is a location or a memory address where a particular data is stored. We are pointing to the system where the exact data is. So it will access the variable that is defined even outside the function. We can pass back the information hence and forth in pointers between a function and its reference points. It will be more efficient in handling data tables also. Reduces the length complexity of a program too, and also sometimes it increases the execution speed. So these are some of the advantages of pointers. The basic concept in the pointer is that it will be a storage location or an area where you can declare a variable and allocates memory location for that particular variable. So within the computer memory, every stored item occupies some contiguous memory cells and assignments inside the program. So the number of memory cells required to store a data item depends upon the type of the data, like character, int, float, double, etc. And also when we declare a variable, the system will allocate the location. So every location will have a unique address, and the location will also we have a unique identification for identification. So consider this statement. We have xyz is equals to 50, whereas xyz is a variable where it will have the data as 50 and the data type is integer. Now look at this. Suppose we are having the memory address of this variable as 1380. In the memory variable of 1380, the data called 50 will be stored. So xyz will be a variable, so 50 will be the value and this will be the address. 1380 will be the address. So when during the execution of the program, the memory address will also be changed. The pointer will also update the memory location when the location is getting updated. Since the memory address has simply numbers, it is assigned to some variables in the memory. So the 50 value can be accessed either with the variable xyz or with the memory address 1380, since the address of that will be the same. So such variables are called as pointer variables. Okay. So now look at this example. So the address of xyz is assigned to some variable called as p. So the previous example I have shown that xyz is holding a value called as 50. Now the address of that will be stored in another variable called as p now. So it will be stored like p equal to ampersand xyz. It means that the address location of 1380 will be stored in the variable called as p. Now look at this. So xyz is holding a value called as 50. The address is 1380. Now this 1380 address is passed to a variable called as p. The p has another location which is called as 2545. I think you are clear. Accessing the address of the variable. When we are accessing the address of the variable, we will be done with the help of ampersand operator. So the ampersand operator will return the address of the variable. That's why we have stored the address as 1380 into a variable called as p. So that can be done only with an operator called as ampersand. That will pass the address of the particular memory value to a variable. So something in pointers we should not use. The first thing is you should not straight away give the address. The address can be given only directly but not using an ampersand symbol. You can give it as ampersand xyz. You should not give it as ampersand 1380. You cannot use the array in the pointers. Like array values initialized to 20 where it stores the address from 0 to 19, whereas the address of this is not passed as ampersand array. Since the name of the array here is given as ARR. And you cannot add or subtract the addresses in the ampersand symbol. Like ampersand A plus B is not allowed. But you can give it as P equal to ampersand XYZ where you can increment the P but cannot increment the address. One example of pointer which have values like A, B, C, D, CH, where A stands for integer, BC stands for floats, and double stands for D, and character stands for CH. Then we have in the pointers ampersand A, ampersand B, ampersand C, ampersand D, ampersand CH. Now look at the control string we have. For integer we have D, for float we have percentage %F, and for double we have LD, and for character we have percentage %C. So the output will be like this. It will determine where the exact location of that particular value is being stored. Right. This is pointer declarations. Whenever we are declaring the pointers, we have to use the general form of declaring the pointer, that is data type followed by the star pointer name. We have to keep it in mind that the star denotes the value whereas the ampersand denotes the address. Example, int count, star count, float star speed. Int star p xyz whereas p equal to ampersand xyz. So this is all about pointers. We have to keep in mind that star stands for value whereas ampersand stands for address. Pointer is anything that stores the memory location of a particular value. Thank you students for listening the pointers.